Greetings and once more welcome to my channel. My name is Chia Rogers, and I want to illustrate how you can measure the pH of soil within the laboratory. So there are different equipment you can actually use. You can actually either use like a set of conical tubes, which of different sizes depending on your purpose. So I'm going to be using a 50 milliliter conical tube. You have distilled water, and then you have your soil samples, which I already weigh. So depending on how much ratio you want to use, but most people in most scientific publications throughout the world, they use a ratio of 1:2. Some people use a ratio of 1:2.5, like in Australia, but in Europe some cases they use a ratio of 1:5, and some people might go as far as using a ratio of 1:10. So what I did was I actually had to measure 2 grams of soil samples, and I'll be using a ratio of 1:10 for the purpose of convenience. So after weighing my soil samples, that's 2 grams, which I weighed 2 grams. So I had to dilute it with water. This is distilled water. I had to dilute with 20 milliliters of distilled water. 20 grams of distilled water, because I'm actually dealing with a ratio of 1:10 for the sake of convenience. For convenience sake. So once that was done, or once that is done, I'm going to use that to fill up into my 2 grams of soil samples, which is already in my conical flask. So this is the samples which I'm going to pour in here to fill it up. And once I did that, I had to centrifuge my soil samples to 225 rotations per minute. The essence of centrifugation is for the soil samples to actually mix up and properly mixed up and soak out the alkalinity or the acidity from the soil. But centrifuging at high speeds, usually that once is possible when you want to crack down cells, but in soils we don't have cell samples. So once I did that, this is for 30 minutes. I had to leave after centrifuging for 30 minutes, I left my samples to settle down for 30 minutes. So I'm going to be measuring the pH based on my readings on the supernatant. Supernatant is this mixture up here, which is a mixture of distilled water and my pH concentrate. So with that done, I'm going to be using pH meter, which I already calibrated, and usually this pH meter is stored in a buffer solution to avoid it being contaminated by the environment. So once that is done, this is really hard. So firstly, I also have like a wash bottle here of distilled water. So I'm gonna use that now, to measure my pH soil. So my first sample, open it up. I'm going to insert my sample just to touch the supernatant, and here we go. It is reading, so I have to press measure, and it is taking the measurement. So I have to wait for a couple of minutes for it to actually read a stable temperature. But I have, since I coded my samples, once I get the reading, I'm going to write it down. So the reading for this soil sample, it's fluctuating between 8.25 and 8.247. So I'm just going to wait for a little bit of time, then I'll write down the reading which I have come across. So I'll settle down to 8.32 and my code is so 8.36. Usually, because it keeps fluctuating, I actually take, like most in my own cases, I'll take like 4 readings, add them up, and then get the average value. So I hope you did enjoy my little explanation. If you have any comments, please drop in the box. Thank you.